Talkin Money!
And we're back to Talkin Money. And here's Jeff Tarbell.
Right. Hour 2 of 2. How you doing?
So we finally got a winner there, Jeffrey.
We did. His name was Jeff.
His name was Jeff. I had to give out about 3 different hints.
No, you had to give out the answer.
All right. So here was the answer to our quiz question. The front runner pledges 75% tax bracket in France for those individuals that are making more than 1 million euros.
About $1.3 million. Okay.
Right. And, so he's...
What's his logic, did he say?
Well...
He just wants to penalize the...
Yeah, there's some – the whole thought is the act of patriotism, right? If you really love this country, you're going to go ahead and do this. So he's acting on that kind of that philosophy there. And some people don't think it's going to fly. Some do. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Ultimately here, Mr. Holland is feeding into widespread resentment in the Eurozone against the super rich and tax evaders at a time when many Europeans are feeling the impact of the debt crisis. So you're getting this clash of the super elite. So
yeah, interesting.
We'll
see if that propels him ahead. Speaking of, I got so many little nitpick things. This one I've been carrying this around for a little bit. We have I've been watching what's going on in Honolulu with the. Well, I don't know. It's not the light rail. It's kind of the high-speed train system that they've been working. I've have some clients that work on. They're doing different consulting for different companies that are in Honolulu, but
the inter-island train.
It's not the one that goes right to the water, and then you swim and get on it on the other side. So in 2008, in Oahu, Hawaii's most populated island, city voters endorsed a 20-mile elevated system that is going to cost an estimated $5.2 billion for 20 miles. And this system is not been started yet, and each time it goes, further and further along, the cost keeps going up and up and up. And now the ex-governor is now running on the platform of just killing the whole deal. And I look at this and I say, okay, 20 miles for $5.2 billion, and aren't we looking at trying to do a system from Sacramento to L.A. through San Francisco? I mean, I don't know what the final. Have you heard it? I don't know if you look it up there. Maybe I don't know what our estimated bid is, but this is a good example. This is a little mini version of what we want to do. And I'm not saying we should or shouldn't do it. I'm just saying that the numbers always start out really, really low, and just explode. And for 20 miles, I mean, this basically takes you. When you look at it on a map, it barely goes around the airport in Pearl Harbor. I mean, 20 miles is just not that much. $5 billion to get that little 20-mile section. We're not talking about looping the island. We're not talking about getting to North Shore. We're talking about just getting around Pearl Harbor.
Right.
For $5 billion. My gut reaction is this will probably never get off the ground in Oahu. And although they've spent a tremendous amount of money already. So I've just been watching this because just as we watch Greece and we say, okay, how's that going to relate to our debt problems? I've been just kind of keeping one eye on this little 20-mile, elevated train system and saying, okay, I'm just watching this and thinking, this is turning into be a very expensive problem. I'm not going to say it's a debacle because it's not, but it hasn't got off the ground yet. But you look at that and say, okay, we want to do the whole state of California. We want to do 400 miles
right.
in California or 600 miles. I mean, do the math on it. These guys are getting very, very close to writing some checks, and the price is going through the roof, and that's for a 20-mile loop.
Right. Have you ever been up to Vancouver?
I've been through Vancouver. I've not been up.
They have a similar elevated train system.
They did that for the Olympics, right?
It's actually great.
Yeah.
I was down in kind of the southern Vancouver area, and to downtown and back, $3 or $2.50 or something like that. Fast, clean, easy to get there. So,
and that was put up for the Olympics, I believe. Or were you there before the Olympics?
No, just this last year.
I know that the Olympics would not have made it as nearly as successful if they didn't have that train. And I'm not saying we shouldn't do the train or we should do it. I'm just saying we better be honest about what it's going to cost, because as these numbers are laying out here in Oahu, the closer they get to the actually breaking dirt, the numbers are starting to just balloon.
Right.
So, and nothing is cheaper in California. I mean, just obtaining rights and everything else as well. So it would be, I think we have to have an honest discussion on what is it going to cost to ride that thing from point A to point B, because you can fly Southwest or others now for, $89 one way. So are you going to pay that same amount to ride the train? Some people might because they don't like flying. And someone asked, one time before, do you have to go through all the TSA stuff? Well, why not? Why would you not have to go through a screening to get on a train? I mean, you can blow up a train like you can blow up a plane. I mean, there's people on it. There's many people. Why would we think you can just walk on the train, strapped to the? I think you'd have to go through a similar system. I don't know. So I don't know if it saves you any time getting in the door. So. And we got a couple phone lines open if you want to jump in with any of these topics. My one topic is still hanging out there, which is should the bill being proposed allow bankruptcy courts to write down or modify your principal mortgage? And so far, everybody who's texted or called in has been a big whopping no. I guess I'll ask this question. Why are mortgage rates different than credit card rates? Why aren't the rates on those the same? Well, for one of them is secured, one of them is not, right? What is the default rate on a credit card? What is the default percentage? Does anybody know? I want to say it's something in the neighborhood of 18 to 20%. So the credit card company, right off the bat, when they issue 5 credit cards out, they know one of them probably is going to totally not pay at all. So that means the other 4 have got to pay for the 5, which is why rates are as high as they are. And there's no security to come back after you can get them. So what we're really talking about, in my opinion, when you take a bankruptcy court and you give that individual, a judge, the ability to come in and say, well, Mr. Perjanik, I agree with you. That is a lot of money for you to pay on that house. And I think I'm going to modify your loan, from $450 down to $225 for you to make things easier for you. And does the bank get to send a representative and say, hey, wait a minute, I don't think that's very fair to us. We want you to sell the house, Mr. Perjanik, and pay the damn loan back. So I'm concerned about that. And one of the earlier texters had made the same comment. There's about 6.5%, maybe 7% default or delinquency rate on mortgages right now. That means 93% of us to 94% of us are doing are paying our bills and doing just fine. So this process could, in fact, lead to either a shortage in lenders willing to make mortgage loans, an increase in the rate we must all pay, because if 1/5 or if 5% of us are getting their mortgages knocked down, the rest of us, that money's going to have to come from somewhere. Or even worse, lenders just say, you know what, forget it. I'm not making, if you're not a 780 credit score or more, if you're not putting down, 25% or more, we're not even going to look at your loan. And there's a lot of good people who don't have a 780 credit score and who don't have 25% to put down that would get knocked out of that ballpark, and then we would be back in a situation where credit is tight, rates are high, and we're in a bigger debacle than the 4 or 5% of the people who need a write-down. So I think that it sounds good. I don't know that, in fact, it would be good. But that's my opinion. I'll be more than happy to listen to yours. You want to jump in there at 339-1140, or you can text us at 441140.